Hi, I'm Sophie.
And I'm Zach, and welcome to class. For today's topic is superstitions, and for general English, B1+.
მოგესალმებით, მე სოფო ვარ, ეს კი ზაკია. კეთილი იყოს თქვენი დაბრუნება ჩვენს ტელესკოლაში. დღევანდელი გაკვეთილის თემა იქნება ცრურწმენები. თქვენ უყურებთ ზოგად ინგლისურს, დონე B1+.
For today's agenda, we of course start with the vocabulary, then we move right along to the reading comprehension, and right in the middle, we have the grammar, and at the end, we have the summary and our favorite part, the homework.
ვიდრე უშუალოდ გაკვეთილს დავიწყებდეთ, მოდით ერთად გადავხედოთ დღევანდელი დღის გეგმას. დღევანდელი გაკვეთილი დაიწყება ლექსიკის შესწავლით, ამის შემდეგ ჩვენ წავიკითხავთ ტექსტს, ამას მოჰყვება გრამატიკული სავარჯიშოები, შემდეგ მოკლედ შევაჯამებთ დღევანდელ გაკვეთილს და დავასრულებთ ყველასათვის საყვარელი საშინაო დავალებით. Let's start?
Let's do it.
So, Zach, are you superstitious? Do you believe that there are things which bring good or bad luck?
Oh, not really, but still I have it in my brain that I believe in these things and I need to stop doing that because it's a little weird and
and I think that it's quite universal. It exists everywhere. Like in US probably you also believed people also believe in certain kinds of things, and in Georgia as well. Is it the case or it's different?
Oh, I think so too. I think it's exactly the same, just slightly different superstitions.
Variations probably that come from different cultures, right?
I totally think so. And first, let's start with the vocabulary, which we have a new list for you.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის შესწავლაზე. თქვენს წინაშეა ის სიტყვები, რომლებსაც შევისწავლეთ ამ გაკვეთილზე.
So first we have superstitious, which is an adjective, and superstitious means when you believe in something that might not totally be true and it's maybe supernatural.
Superstitious in Georgian means ცრუმორწმუნე. Superstitious, ცრუმორწმუნე, superstitious, ცრუმორწმუნე, superstitious, ცრუმორწმუნე.
And next we have ghost, which is a noun, and ghost is a supernatural being which maybe you can't see and maybe you hear and
which doesn't have flesh, maybe we can say. Ghost is მოჩვენება in Georgian. Ghost, მოჩვენება, ghost, მოჩვენება, ghost, მოჩვენება.
And next we have belief, which is a noun, and belief is when you just have a thought in your head that you think is true.
Belief is a noun, and believe, to believe in something, will be verb. Belief means rtsmena in Georgian. Belief, rtsmena, belief, rtsmena, belief, rtsmena.
And ritual is a noun, and ritual is something that you do on a schedule that you think will help with something.
Ritual in Georgian means rituali. Ritual, rituali, ritual. Rituali, ritual, rituali.
And next we have proof, which is a noun, and proof is when you have knowledge or you think something is a fact.
Proof is მტკიცებულება. To prove something would be a verb, and the proof is a noun. Proof, მტკიცებულება, proof, მტკიცებულება, proof, მტკიცებულება.
And next we have gullible, which is an adjective, and gullible means when you fall for things or you think things are true but they really aren't.
Gullible in Georgian means გულუბრყვილო ან მიამიტი. Gullible, გულუბრყვილო ან მიამიტი. Gullible, გულუბრყვილო ან მიამიტი. Gullible, გულუბრყვილო ან მიამიტი.
And next we have jinx, which is a verb, and jinx is something is like a curse or something that someone puts on someone else to have bad luck.
Yes, jinx in Georgian means უბედურების მოტანა. Jinx, უბედურების მოტანა. Jinx, უბედურების მოტანა. Jinx, უბედურების მოტანა.
Now let's move on to our vocabulary section where we will match the definitions with the word.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის სავარჯიშოზე. თქვენს წინაშე მოცემული იქნება სიტყვები და მათი განმარტებები. ჩვენ ერთად უნდა ვიპოვოთ მოცემული განმარტებებისთვის მოცემული სიტყვები.
So, the first one, this kind of person is easy to trick because he or she trusts and believes people too easily. What do you think that could be?
So I think that we talked about this very in details. We said that it's gullible, right? When you believe, when you're a person, when you're too naive, when you believe in something too easily, that would be gullible.
Yeah.
And next, we've got something that you do regularly and always in the same way.
Ooh, I think that's ritual.
Oh, you are absolutely right. A lot of people have certain rituals that they need to follow throughout the day. And we all have rituals probably, right?
I think so, yeah.
The right answer is ritual.
And next, information or evidence that shows that something is definitely true or definitely exists.
So, as we mentioned earlier, it must be proof, and the proof is a noun, and the proof, to prove something that is true or false, is a verb already. So, right answer for this choice, for this definition, is the word proof.
Yeah.
And next, we've got a force that brings bad luck and often affects someone or something.
I think that's jinx.
You're absolutely right. Jinx is the word.
And then a belief that things such as magic or luck have the power to affect your life.
That would be a person who is superstitious. Probably is a person who believes that magic, into magic or into a luck, into a good luck, and into the fact that those powers can affect your life.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
And the next we've got the spirit of a dead person that someone can see or hear.
I believe that's a ghost.
You're absolutely right, and there are so many ghost stories and movies about the ghosts.
Oh,
yes.
Totally right. And then a strong feeling that something is true or real.
Yeah, in that case, it's quite obvious that it's belief. Yes, and the belief, let's remind our lovely audience that belief is a noun, and to believe in something would be a verb, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now let's move on to our second list of vocabulary words.
ახლა კი მოდით ერთად გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის მეორე ნაწილზე.
So our first word is novice, which is a noun, and novice is someone who is new to something or is learning something for the first time.
Novice in Georgian means siachle. Novice, siachle, novice, siachle, novice, siachle.
And next we have newbies, which is a noun, and it's very similar to novice, someone who is very new to something or that they are just learning something right now.
Newbies in Georgian means ახალბედა. Newbies, ახალბედა, newbies, ახალბედა, newbies, ახალბედა.
And next we have hamper, which is a verb, and hamper is something that keeps people from doing something or makes a problem.
Hamper in Georgian means ხელის შეშლა ან დაბრკოლება. Hamper, ხელის შეშლა ან დაბრკოლება. Hamper, ხელის შეშლა ან დაბრკოლება. Hamper, ხელის შეშლა ან დაბრკოლება.
And next we have surefire, which is an adjective, and surefire means that something that for sure will happen. No problem.
Surefire in Georgian means უტყუარი. Surefire, უტყუარი, surefire, უტყუარი, surefire, უტყუარი.
And next we have doom, which is a verb, and doom means that there is only bad things that will happen, nothing else.
Doom in Georgian means განწირვა. Doom, განწირვა, doom, განწირვა, doom, განწირვა.
And next we have trap, which is a noun, and trap is when something unexpectedly happens on purpose to keep you from doing something.
Trap in Georgian means ხაფანგი. Trap, ხაფანგი, trap, ხაფანგი, trap, ხაფანგი.
Next we have grinding, which is a noun, and grinding is when you move something on something else to make it smaller or make it into a powder.
Good. So grinding in Georgian means დაბქვა ან დანაყვა. Grinding, დაბქვა ან დანაყვა. Grinding, დაბქვა ან დანაყვა. Grinding, დაბქვა ან დანაყვა.
Now let's move on to our reading comprehension section.
Zach, are there any superstitions in your country, or do your family have their own superstitions? And if so, what are they?
I know one, which is the four-leaf clover.
Okay.
Which is a little plant that has 4 little leaves, and that if you find that, then it's very good luck.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have that too, I think, in Georgia.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Yeah, and we have others as well in Georgia, like looking in the broken mirror. That is not it doesn't bring a good luck. Or the salt is, it shows a bad luck, this kind of sort of thing.
Or even knocking on wood, that's supposed to bring good luck too.
Yeah, and frighten all the evil spirits away.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Now let's do the reading part.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ წაკითხulis გააზრებაზე.
Beginner's luck, usually grumbled by an expert who just lost a game to a novice. Beginner's luck is the idea that newbies are usually likely to win when they try out a sport, game, or activity for the first time. Beginners might come out ahead in some cases because the novice is less stressed out about winning. Too much anxiety, after all, can hamper performance, or it could just be a statistical fluke, or like many superstitions, a belief in beginner's luck might arise because of confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is a psychological phenomenon in which people are more likely to remember events that fit their worldview. If you believe you're going to win because you're a beginner, you're more likely to remember all the times you were right and forget the times you ended up in last place.
Black cats crossing your path. As companion animals for humans for thousands of years, cats play all sorts of mythological roles. In ancient Egypt, cats were revered. Today, Americans collectively keep more than 81 million cats as pets. So why keep a black cat out of your path? Most likely, this superstition arises from old beliefs in witches and their animal familiars, which were often said to take the form of domestic animals like cats.
Mirror. According to folklore, breaking a mirror is a surefire way to doom yourself to several years of bad luck. The superstition seems to rise from the belief that mirrors don't just reflect your image, they hold bits of your soul. That belief led people in the old days of the American South to cover mirrors in a house when someone died, lest their soul be trapped inside. Like the number 3, the number 7 is often associated with luck. 7 years is a long time to be unlucky, which may be why people have come up with the countermeasures to free themselves after breaking a mirror. These include touching a piece of the broken mirror to a tombstone or grinding the mirror shards into powder.
For a superstition, the fear of Friday the 13th seems fairly new, dating back to the late 1800s. Friday has long been considered as an unlucky day. According to the Christian tradition, Jesus died on Friday, and 13 has a long history as an unlucky number. According to the Stress Management Center and the Phobia Institute in North Carolina, about 17 million people fear Friday the 13th. Many may fall prey to the human mind's desire to associate thoughts and the symbols with events. If anything bad happens to you on Friday the 13th, the two will be forever associated in your mind, said a psychologist at Cornell University. All those uneventful days in which the 13th fell on a Friday will be ignored.
So now let's move on to our reading activity and answer the given questions.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ წაკითხulis გააზრების დავალებაზე. თქვენს წინაშე მოცემულია კითხვები, რომლებსაც ერთად უნდა გავცეთ პასუხი ტექსტზე დაყრდნობით. And the first question is...
So the first question is it beginner's luck when you practice a lot and succeed?
No, as we read in the text, it is when a newbie plays a sport or a game for the first time and wins. And I think that that has happened to us a lot of times, to all of us probably. And our second question is, were white cats seen as a bad luck?
No, it was black cats that were seen as bad luck because from old beliefs that they are witches' familiars.
That's very true.
And then, is it true that if you break a mirror, you receive 7 years of bad luck?
Yes, and you reverse this curse by touching a piece of a glass to a tombstone, or grinding up the mirror shards into a powder.
Yeah,
as we read.
I think so.
And our next question is Friday the 13th considered as an unlucky day?
Yes, because 13 is considered an unlucky number, and this dates back to the 1800s.
And you're absolutely right.
So now let's move on to the grammar section where we will discuss reported speech.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ გრამატიკის ნაწილზე. დღევანდელ გაკვეთილზე ჩვენ განვიხილავთ ირიბ თქმას.
We can report people's words by using direct speech or reported speech. In case of direct speech, we use someone's exact words. We use quotation marks in direct speech. Reported speech is the exact meaning of what someone said, but not the exact words. We do not use quotation marks in reported speech. We can either use the word that after the introductory verbs say, tell, etc., or we can omit it.
ჩვენ შეგვიძლია გადმოვცეთ სხვა ადამიანის სიტყვები პირდაპირი ან ირიბი თქმის მეშვეობით. პირდაპირი თქმის შემთხვევაში ზუსტად ვიმეორებთ მოსაუბრის სიტყვებს და გამოვიყენებთ ბრჭყალებს. ირიბი თქმა აჩვენებს ზუსტად იმას, რის თქმაც უნდოდა ადამიანს, თუმცა არა იმავე სიტყვებით. ირიბ თქმაში არ გამოიყენება ბრჭყალები, ირიბ თქმაში შეგვიძლია გამოვიყენოთ ან არ გამოვიყენოთ სიტყვა that, ისეთი ზმნების შემდეგ, რომლებიც აკეთებენ ირიბი თქმის შესავალს. ასეთებია say, tell და ასე შემდეგ.
In reported speech, personal pronouns, possessive adjectives, possessive pronouns change according to the meaning of the sentence. For example, Sophie said, I am leaving for England with my family tomorrow. Sophie said that she was leaving for England with her family the following day.
ირიბ თქმაში პირის ნაცვალსახელები, კუთვნილებითი ზეცართავის სახელები და ნაცვალსახელები იცვლება წინადადების მნიშვნელობის მიხედვით. მაგალითად, Sophie said, I am leaving for England with my family tomorrow. Sophie said that she was leaving for England with her family the following day.
We can use say and tell both in direct and reported speech. Tell is always followed by a personal object. For example, told me. Say is used with or without a personal object. When used with a personal object, it is always followed by the preposition to. For example, said to me.
ჩვენ შეგვიძლია გამოვიყენოთ say და tell პირდაპირ და ირიბ თქმაში. ზმნას tell ყოველთვის მოსდევს ობიექტური პირის ნაცვალსახელი, მაგალითად told me. Say გამოიყენება ობიექტური პირის ნაცვალსახელით ან მის გარეშე. როდესაც say-ს მოსდევს ობიექტური პირის ნაცვალსახელი, აუცილებლად გვჭირდება to წინდებულიც. მაგალითად said to me. განვიხილოთ ორი წინადადება. He said I am George. He said that he was George. He said to me, I am George. He said to me that he was George.
We can report someone's words either a long time after they were said, for example, out-of-date reporting, or immediately after they were said, for example, up-to-date reporting.
ჩვენ შეგვიძლია გადმოვცეთ სხვა ადამიანების სიტყვები დიდი ხნის შემდეგ, რასაც უწოდებთ out-of-date reporting, ან მაშინვე, რასაც უწოდებთ up-to-date reporting.
We usually report someone's words after they were said. In this case, the introductory verbs in the past simple and the tense changes as follows. So present simple changes into past simple, and present continuous changes into past continuous. And past simple changes into past simple or past perfect. And past continuous changes into past continuous or past perfect continuous. And future will change into conditional would.
ძირითადად გადმოვცემთ ხოლმე სხვა ადამიანის სიტყვებს მათი თქმის შემდეგ. ამ შემთხვევაში შესავლისთვის გამოყენებული ზმნა არის ხოლმე წარსულ დროში, said and told. ხოლო მთავარი ზმნა კი იცვლება დროში შემდეგნაირად. თუ მოცემული გვაქვს წინადადება აწმყო მარტივ დროში, მაშინ ეს წინადადება შეიცვლება წარსულ მარტივ დროში. თუ მოცემული გვაქვს ზმნა აწმყო განგრძობით დროში, მაშინ იგი შეიცვლება და იქნება წარსულ განგრძობით დროში. თუ ზმნა მოცემულია წარსულ მარტივ დროში, ამ შემთხვევაში იგი შეიძლება და გვექნება წარსული მარტივი ან წარსული სრული დრო. თუ ზმნა მოცემულია წარსულ განგრძობით დროში, ამ შემთხვევაში გვექნება წარსული განგრძობითი ან წარსული განგრძობითი სრული დრო. თუ ზმნა მოცემულია მომავალ დროში, ანუ გამოყენებულია will, ამ შემთხვევაში იგი შეიძლება და გვექნება would.
Certain words and time expressions change according to the meaning of the sentence, as follows: now, then, at that time. Today, tonight, that day, that night. Yesterday, the day before the previous day. And tomorrow, the next day, the following day. And this week, that week. Last week, the week before the previous week. Next week, the week after the following week. 2 days ago, 2 days before. Here, there, come, go.
კონკრეტული სიტყვები და დროის აღმნიშვნელი გამონათქვამები იცვლება წინადადების მნიშვნელობის მიხედვით შემდეგნაირად. თუ გვაქვს now, იგი შეიძლება და გახდება then ან at that time. თუ გვაქვს today ან tonight, იგი შეიძლება და გახდება that day ან that night. Yesterday გახდება the day before ან the previous day. Tomorrow შეიძლება და გახდება the next day and the following day. თუ გვაქვს this week, იგი შეიძლება და გახდება that week. Last week გარდაიქმნება the week before and the previous week-ად. გვექნება თუ გვაქვს next week, ამ შემთხვევაში გვექნება the week after and the following week. თუ გვაქვს 2 days ago, შეიძლება და გახდება 2 days before. თუ გვაქვს here, იგი გახდება there, და თუ გვაქვს come, იგი გახდება go.
When these are used in time expressions, they change to that, those. For example, this week, that week. These days, those days.
როდესაც these გამოიყენება დროის აღნიშნულ გამონათქვამებად, ისინი შეიცვლებიან და გვექნება that and those. მაგალითად, this week, that week. These days, those days.
Now let's move on to our grammar section and rewrite sentences in reported speech.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ გრამატიკის სავარჯიშოზე. ეკრანზე მოცემულია წინადადებები პირდაპირ თქმაში, ჩვენ ისინი უნდა გადავიყვანოთ ირიბ თქმაში.
So Sophie, Tom said he works in a bank. So how do you make that into reported speech?
So first of all, we need to look at the verb as we mentioned it earlier. So dear audience, what do you think? Which one is the verb in this sentence? Of course, it will be what? Work, right? So a work is in present simple. And therefore, as we read before, present simple changes into past simple. And that's why we will have Tom said that he worked in a bank. Instead of works, we use worked. And also pay attention that instead of a quotation mark, we take it off and we don't use it at all.
Yeah,
yes?
Exactly. And then number 2, Sophie, she said, I have never been there before.
So as we see in here, the verb is given into present perfect, have been. That's why we need to change a present perfect into a past perfect, and we will have had been. Also, it's important to see that pronoun I changed into she. She said that she had never been there before. I changed into she, and the verb from present perfect changed into past perfect.
And then number 3, Anna said she's living in Paris for a few months.
In here, the verb is given into a present continuous, and that's why we need to change it into past continuous. And we will have, Anna said that she was living in Paris for a few months. Instead of she's living, it will be she was living.
And then she said, I'll do the washing up later.
In this case, as you see, we have a future with the will, and as we said, when we have will, it will change into would, and also the pronoun I will change into she. So she said she would do the washing up later.
So now let's go to the summary.
ახლა კი მოდით ერთად შევაჯამოთ დღევანდელი გაკვეთილი.
So we had the vocabulary where we had 2 sets of vocabulary words. And then we went right along to the reading section where we talked about superstitions. And then next we went to the grammar section and talked about reported speech.
And now it's time to move on to the homework.
And for the homework, our favorite part, write a short paragraph about your country's superstitions.
საშინაო დავალებად გთხოვთ დაწერეთ მოკლე პარაგრაფი იმის შესახებ თუ რა ცრურწმენებია გავრცელებული თქვენს ქვეყანაში.
And please send your homework to the address on the screen.
გთხოვთ გამოაგზავნოთ თქვენი დავალება ეკრანზე მითითებულ მისამართზე.
Remember that there is a homework example on the website. So please don't copy anything else, just try to do your best.
გახსოვდეთ, რომ ბმულზე ასევე დაგხვდებათ დავალების ნიმუში, რომელიც შეგიძლიათ გამოიყენოთ თქვენი საშინაო დავალების შესრულებისას. And I think that now it's time to say goodbye, unfortunately.
I think so too.
Let's hope that our lovely audience will join us next week as well.
Of course they will. Yes.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.